Good morning. And now we are going to close this Congress. And to do so, we've got Adolfo Alustiza, who's General Manager of LANBIDE. But before doing so, I'd like to say a couple of words. Firstly, I'd like to thank all the speakers who have come from all around the world. Secondly, I'd like to thank also all those speakers who've come from Vocational Training Centres. Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking part. And thirdly, I'd like to also thank all the working group, all the people that are behind this event. Thanks. We know you've put in a lot of hours to get this show on the road. But before handing the floor over to Adolfo, there's a couple of things I need to say, a comment, which is, please, don't forget that when you hand your headphones back, pick up your ID card or your passport, because some people then go off to try and catch a flight and then miss their flight because they leave their ID cards or their passports here. So don't do that. So now I'm going to hand the floor over to my dear friend Adolfo. Thanks to all of you for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Yesterday, Jorge Arevalo, who's a colleague at the government and who's here in the audience today, set a series of basic objectives of the Basque government: human development, social cohesion, and the fight against poverty. And I'm going to just give you some figures. In 2008, 5.7% of the Basque population was at a risk of poverty. And as a result of the crisis, this percentage has actually gone up by 1.6% and is now at 7.3% of the population that's in risk of poverty, at the poverty threshold. As for social cohesion, the index was 3.7%. The second place in the whole of Europe, alongside Finland and just behind Sweden. That was in 2008. But once again, because of the crisis, this has increased by 0.4%. And the Human Development Index in 2012 in the Basque country was 0.98. In Norway, which is the highest country, it was actually a little bit lower than us, 0.977. So we were at the upper reaches of the world ranking. The objective of the government is to improve these ratings even further. And we're well aware of the fact that human development and welfare is something that's achieved mainly through work. And I'd go further, say that it's through quality work. And when we talk about employment creation, there are a series of stakeholders and factors that have an influence, but behind all of these factors, there's one single thing which is important, which is humans, people and their skills. At a time of crisis, it's only imagination that's more important than knowledge. And in these last 3 days of the Congress, we've been able to think about knowledge and imagination, which is now called innovation these days. In the Basque country, we've got a huge challenge ahead of us. We need to improve our population's employability and the competitiveness of our companies in a new parameter. You know what's really sure when you go into a tunnel? It's that if you get out of that tunnel, you're going to come out through a different route than when you went in. And that's what's going to happen to us. We're going to come out of this crisis, but via a different exit and through employability and competitiveness. And we need to remember that when we're facing up to new parameters in an uncertain situation. The government has designed a whole series of strategies to deal with this situation. And in the field of VET, it uses two tools: the Basque strategy for vocational training and the strategic plan 2013 to 2016 from the Basque Employment Service, also known as LANBIDE. LANBIDE is a new tool that we have, which needs to be as excellent as quickly as possible. It's a tool to implement active employment policies which will carry on acting fully aligned with the Ministry for Vocational Training. Cooperation and innovation in the employment model for our autonomous region and shared goals are the three pillars that will allow us to face up to this incredible challenge that I just mentioned earlier, and with the guarantees of success. Gianni Versace used to say, our work should make people dream. Well, our work, your work, needs to become the dream of our population. And with those words, I'd like to close this International Congress on Vocational Training.